obviously not the most urgent, pressing issue, but have there been any discussions or updates on your own contract situation?
No.
Nothing. I think obviously if it was a player in this situation, we'd all be asking you every week about his future and what we're going to do and how Edu's dealing with it. Is that fair to think that we ask the same question of you and the fans are wondering?
It can be, but I am really happy. I still have a year in my contract. That's a long time in football as well, and the players are happy, the club is happy, no issues.
I think it was a couple of years ago the club spoke about providing clarity before the summer and transfers and to show that you'd be here in the long term. Is that kind of the goal again, do you think, once this busy fixture period is over?
I don't know. I'm just focusing on the games and winning football matches, and that's the most important thing right now. Thank you.
Jordan? Hi, Mikel.
Hi.
I think there was disappointment amongst neutrals that the game on Sunday wasn't more exciting and that there weren't more goals. But considering how high the level is now and two teams are at the top of their game, should we expect that sort of game more often? It's so tight, there's rarely any mistakes, but we're going to have games that are so tight and there aren't many goals in it. Is that what we should expect now in this title race?
It can happen. I think between us in the last few games it's been like that. The last 3 games, when you look at the margins are like this. With Liverpool it's been different. It's been more open, it's been more games, it's been more hectic. Depending as well, I think, the approach of both teams, I think.
Which one do you prefer? A more hectic game or a game like one on Sunday?
The ones I win. I love those ones.
And just finally, you haven't scored from a set piece in the last 4 games. Now I know that isn't a hugely long time, but are you thinking you maybe need to kind of get back to the drawing board and draw up a few new plays? Have teams started to kind of figure out?
Well, for sure, the teams obviously try to stop when you have big threats from different areas, and we constantly going to have to try to adapt or tweak things just to create problems to the opponents. Hopefully we can score tomorrow.
Dave? Just picking up on what Jordan was talking about, Mikel, and you also mentioned earlier that you left your ideology aside at City. Was that difficult?
I didn't say that.
You did. You said you leave your ego and ideology aside.
Yeah, to do certain things, not to be a completely different team. Okay. It's like when you have a short blanket. Sometimes you have to cover here and your feet are there. But if you want to cover your feet, then your chest is there. So you have to tweak certain things sometimes.
So go on. So just explain exactly what you meant by that. The tweaks to your ideology just at City.
I cannot tell you that. we adapt to certain things, and they did as well. Yeah. They did certain things that they never do differently, and no. But it's what it is. That's a game. Try to hide your possible weaknesses, the biggest strength of the opponent, and try to expose theirs.
Because I was going to say as well, Mourinho always used to say that he could always lock down a game for 0-0. That was him. Yeah. He almost said that was kind of the easy bit, and obviously the harder bit is obviously trying to win the game, I suppose. Yeah.
I don't have this ability. Hopefully I can improve and get that ability to have the certainty that I can have that, but especially against Man City, and when you look in the last 3 years that they have scored in every single match, I think it's very difficult, but we are on it, that's for sure.
Just finally, anything that you can say about what you and Pep spoke about after the game?
A lot about families, about both teams, about the times that we were together as well, because you are there in the environment, and it's really good. We hug each other. We met with other players. Yeah, that he was really close, and it was tough for both teams, and yeah, and we might have to see each other if everything goes like we want, but let's see.
Isan?
I'm Mikel. With Bukayo Saka about 2 weeks ago with the England squad, he obviously, as a precaution, left the squad before the 2 friendlies. How is it in terms of managing him? Because obviously we've seen throughout the season where he's had to hobble off the pitch in pain, and he miraculously comes back for the next game and starts. As a manager, how do you manage that? And do you have his long-term future in mind in terms of the impact it has on his body?
Well, he wasn't with the national team because he was injured. So he had a muscular issue. So. And then he trained very little, and then he played, and yeah, we had to take him off because obviously the risk of re-injuring the player was pretty high, and hopefully today he can train and he feels good and he's done it many times and he's a really robust player and we can have him for the rest of the games.
Going forward, is that on your mind though, his long-term health and fitness because of the knocks he's been taking over the season?
Yeah, this was more a muscular issue than a knock, but yeah, he's a player that has a lot of contact. He has so much minutes under his belt in the last few seasons, and you have to manage him.
We saw recently Ethan Winery signed his first professional contract. How good is he, and what's the potential in him? Because obviously there's a lot of noise around how he's the next big star.
I'm really happy. It was a great day. He had all his family and important people around him. A really proud moment to see another academy graduate signing his pro contract. He's very close to the first team, and the opportunity is there. Now he needs to take it.
Just one more. With Aaron Ramsdale, there's recent reports of him being linked to Newcastle. Is there any...
I'm not going to comment on those things.
And finally, we go to Gary.
Is there any situation where Aaron could be here next year? Is there a situation where is there a
suggestion? No, there is a big reality that Aaron is here because he's our player and he's got a contract.
Go on the rotation theme. Would you ever have a situation where you might have 18 players of similar ability like Pep, where you could freely rotate and they would all eventually have similar minutes over a season, or is your model slightly different?
I would love that, to have 22 or 20 instead of 18.
Where the minutes would all be...
Yeah, that you change and one is better than the other one is better than the other one the week after. That raises the level, and for sure you're going to win more games.
How many transfer windows would you need to get to that type of score?
I don't know. That's depending on how much we have to spend, and as well how good we are to evolve the players that we have to get to that level, and obviously the academy, which is a key thing.
And just a couple from Simon for midday tomorrow. Thank you.
Mikel, I remember